the next mental model that we're going to go through. And for me, it was one of those like, that's why I'm sore sometimes. Or that's why there are conflicts and divides that I don't understand why they won't just disappear. It made a lot of place to me. And this is a mental model called the two loops that were developed in Karlskrona Institute that were looking into how does systems shift? How does paradigms shift? And what could we possibly learn from how that happens in nature? So they looked into how that happens in nature when system shifts and noticed that it's the same pattern that happens in human-created systems. So it's a framework for us to understand a bit where are we in system and what happens when they shift, and what can we do about the apparent and obvious divides that happen. And we start here, dirt. And I'm here on the first loop. Sometimes, at one given point, a system starts to rise. For instance, in Sweden, we have a very strong public system, because we kind of made an agreement that we want to have welfare for everyone, and it should be equal rights for everyone, and that should be taken care of the public system. So we pay our taxes, and that's taken care of there. Not necessarily me helping you, but by giving money to the public system, and everybody will be cared for. So it becomes a strong system that can hold a lot of people. That can be something that invites most. It can also be an energy system. Like, okay, we need energy for heat and light. Like, and we can use oil and those kind of, what do you call it? We have 500 sustainability people here.
Fossil fuels.
Fossil fuels there. Trick question. So we have an energy system based on fossil fuels. That's awesome. We have these fuels and they will never end, and it will provide, and people can get rich by it, and we can build up companies, and people get power, and it's so good. And then it starts to, something happens. We discover, oh, it's not an endless resource. Some notice that, it's hurting nature. Or in Sweden, we noticed it became more obvious last 2 years ago when the public system wasn't ready to welcome the 200,000 new people that arrived to Sweden. It couldn't carry that. So it needed something else. So the idea of this existing system kind of has a break. And at the same time, there's a lot invested here, and there's lots of power invested here, not necessarily want to let go of the idea that this is forever and ever. But it is going to go this way. And what happens when a system, I like that story of fossil fuels, where when it became apparent that that's not an endless resource and that maybe global warming was a thing, and people started to come up with ideas of alternatives. Maybe we can use sun for energy, or maybe water could be a bigger resource, or maybe we find different things. So it comes these innovators, or the people who step out of the system and start to look for new options. And so the And Nixon was in charge then, and he put some solar cells on the White House. Recognized that, it's a thing. And then Bush came and took away the sun cell from the White House. Because it's not a thing. Yeah, it's not a thing. Let's stay on this system. So it's a disruption that these shows up. But it's not really yet something that all of us can get the need that started the system served by. We can't all get heat, or from these like few ideas, it's not really carrying us. So when we get new ideas, it's when those ideas or those people or organizations or innovations starts to connect, they have the first possibility of starting the thread of a possible new system. These are still between systems, but when they connect, when we create networks of possible options that can create more meaning or more value and maybe more scale and invite more people, then it's possible to do more. So with when we have many newly arrived in Sweden, all these new unorganized people showed up and opened homes and started organizations, and it was the way Phil talked about, it was a living system that arose. And it was a bit chaotic, or it was chaos in manners, but they started to connect with each other. And also as the solar system or alternative sources, even between sun and other options, starts to connect. And it's still not a full possibility for all of us, so we need to start. I think I maybe lost the small paper, but it's to get together and start a community of practice. Oh, you found the community of practice. Community of practice. And when it becomes a community of practice, then we can shift, like, okay, we have this, and you have the tools to scale up. Oh, then we can use that. Then can we have a shared language, a way of distributing? How can we make this so it starts to become the new system? A new system that can hold more of us, serving that same need that the first system started with. So we have a new system starting to rise, and we have the current system that is still existing. They're coexisting and not always peacefully. And one question for us, and this is an ongoing life circle, even this new thing. Some of us are moving here and coming up with new ideas, and it feels so obvious that that will carry us forever. And then, so that's the best option, and if everyone did this way, it's going to go on, and that's also going to crack. And a new thing will arise. But there are things that we can do to help this happen, to host this to happen as leaders. And when it comes to these innovators, if you're a part of the current system or if you're a part in between, an important thing is to name. There is an alternative. There are things going on. Those people are doing something. That could be a possible alternative. Giving something a name gives it also power to continue. So naming is an important thing. When it comes to network, it's not always easy to find each other. If you have been in innovation or creating something, to know that, oh, next door they're doing the same thing, or maybe in Estonia they're doing the same thing. So an important thing is to help connect these new alternatives so they see each other and together can be stronger as individuals, but also as a possible new system. And when it comes to community or practice, here is also, we had an Energiser just before you sat down. It's like, how can we give energy to this thing that is the system that is evolving? So it's also about nourishing. And it's important as a leader to look for and witness and see what kind of nourishment is needed. So you don't come with your understanding from the old system. Oh, you need a business model, scale to scale, and you need to lean everything, and then it's going to be good. Like, what do they need? This community or practice, so it can become stronger. And here, when the system actually, it's a possible alternative. Now we can go on past cars that are run by alternative energy, and now it's possible. It's to illuminate, to be like a lighthouse that put light on, because there's still the majority over in the current system. Hello, this is existing, to give light on it. And this is still existing. And these are, we all existed, systems happen within ourselves and in the society, and so it's happening all the time. But this system is still existing. And what can you do if you're part of it? And if you also want to aid the next thing to come up. So one thing that you can do, and an important role, is to protect and steward. If you're in this system, and those of you who have experience in working in organizations, we have something called entrepreneurs. Like, who are the internal change makers? Can I create space for them to develop this new thing so they don't have to be part of all the routines or the control that we have in the old system? So to give space for the new to rise. Many of the more pioneering projects I've been a part of, we've been so dependent on finding these people. I give a huge bow to the mostly women, but also men who have these decisions. And here, where the system is starting to fall, is this place for hospice. How can we help the old die with dignity? How can we take care of the conflict that comes up when you're realizing that this thing that I'm invested in, if it's being part of country life and being able to live and provide for my family, and now everyone is moving to the city, or if it's the patriarchal system, or if it's the old school system, or if it's just life, and I'm on the fall of my lifetime. How do we help that die? And who's doing that with the system? So people can let go of the old. And David and I worked with 30 different leaders from very different public institutions and organizations 2 weeks ago. And we stepped into this, like where do you put your time? And we had no roles that were assigned on taking care of this. And then we wonder why. We have problems and divides between systems. There were no roles that worked intentionally with taking care of letting go of the old. And this, the MSLSers again, Compost. And this is as important, that to take care of all that has value from the old. How can we take that and bring nourishment to the new? And how do we help the majority that's still in this system to come over to this? How do you build bridges? How do you make the people who think this is the obvious new understand that we need to have a relationship with these and invite them in? Or how do you help the people here to understand the language and ways of this new? So bridge building. And I would like to invite you to first find, if you take a stance from a system that you're, do you have a system?
What does it mean,
Compost? MSLSer?
Compost is what is the last phase of the organic material that you throw out. So it's actually when the decomposition happens, and what's left is nutrients for the new to come. So if you have any decomposition of organic material, the last phase is the compost. So you can actually use it to nourish new plants.
You can use leaves and that to create new soil. Permaculture,
Yeah,
you're a composter.
I love compost.
We built 10 of them.
Yes. So if you want to have a conversation about compost, go to
Please. That would be my Energizer, actually.
Yes.
Someone wants to learn, I'm here.
And how do we work with composting from old systems? I would like to hear the wisdom from your conversation. But first, I would like to, if you find that you are all parts of system, but if you're in an organization that you work in or that you live in, where are you now? Are you is that organization part of the current system? Is it here? Is it, where in this life cycle span is your system? Like your organization that you're part of. Does that make sense?
Or where we are within your organization.
Yeah, I'm going to ask that also. But first, if you look, where's your organization at? Yeah, you can be a part of a team as well. Where are you? And you can step into come into the loop.